The province is now accepting applications from municipalities for local infrastructure projects. Last month, Ontario announced up to $1.05 billion in federal provincial funding through the COVID-19 Resilience Infrastructure Stream under the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program. The ICP aims to build or renovate health and safety-related projects in long-term care, education, and municipalities that will help Ontario respond to the impacts of COVID-19. Eligible projects include infrastructure to support physical distancing, social infrastructure, active transportation, and disaster mitigation projects. Each municipality is allocated a certain amount of funding for which they can apply, with a minimum allocation of $100,000. Fire crews made quick work on a blaze in the downtown yesterday. On TV's Dan Gray brings us more.
On Monday, November 16th, Sault Ste. Marie Fire Service crews were recalled to a reported residential fire in the 100 block of East Street. Shortly after 12 noon, fire crews responded to a kitchen fire in a single unit of a multi-unit residential dwelling. Crews contained the fire and ventilated the building. The cause of the fire was attributed to a stovetop element igniting combustible materials in close proximity to the stove. The fire is not considered suspicious, and there is minimal damage to the unit, and there are no injuries to report. For On TV, I'm Dan Gray.
Ontario students could get an extended winter break or start classes remotely in the new year as the province considers ways to reduce COVID-19 transmission after the holidays. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says he's talked to health officials and is looking at solutions that may include some period out of class at the beginning of January, but has not yet made a decision. Lecce says he will announce a plan in the next week or two to allow parents to prepare. Last Friday, a spokeswoman for the minister said the province was not considering any change to the school year calendar. Ontario is reporting 1,249 new cases of COVID-19 today and 12 new deaths due to the virus. Health Minister Christine Elliott says 569 cases are in Toronto, 256 in Peel Region, and 94 in York Region. The province also reported 133 new COVID-19 cases related to schools, including at least 73 among students. Those bring the number of schools with a reported case to 670 out of Ontario's 4,828 publicly funded schools. In the province's long-term care homes, 700 residents currently have COVID-19 and 3 new deaths have been reported today. The province says 108 of its 626 long-term care homes are experiencing an outbreak. Conservative leader Erin O'Toole says Chinese telecom giant Huawei rose to dominance by stealing the technology of the defunct Canadian firm Nortel. O'Toole is leveling the industrial espionage charge against Huawei and the Chinese Communist Party as he announces that the Conservatives are pushing the Liberals to decide within 30 days which companies can provide Canada's next-generation 5G wireless internet technology. China has imprisoned 2 Canadian men, Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor, in apparent retaliation for the arrest of Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou on a U.S. extradition warrant. O'Toole says he wants the matter debated in the House of Commons and wants a new strategy to deal with China because the Liberals have not done enough to stand up to its intimidation of Canada. The Federal Information Commissioner is blasting Public Safety Minister Bill Blair and the RCMP for what she suggests is a complete disregard for transparency and accountability. The assessment comes in a new report in which Caroline Maynard takes the Mounties to task for failing to address long-standing issues in the handling of access to information requests. That includes a growing backlog of such requests, as well as problems with handling such requests properly. Maynard also criticizes Blair and the federal Liberal government for seemingly not taking the issue seriously and providing the necessary leadership to address the problem. The Liberals first promised during the 2015 federal election to strengthen Canada's access to information regime, but Maynard has said complaints about the system have been increasing. Daniel LaPrade is up next with your local weather, right after this.
COVID-19 is a serious public health threat. All Canadians must act now to reduce the spread. Avoid crowded places and practice social distancing. Avoid non-essential travel and stay home as much as possible. Self-isolate if you may have been exposed to COVID-19. Stay connected with neighbors, friends, and family. When you take care of yourself, you take care of others.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Good evening and welcome back on your Tuesday, a snowy Tuesday once again. And yes, the winds are still howling out there as well. Well, that's going to continue through the evening and into most of the overnight until it calms down for the morning and things clear up and we set the stage for a couple of nice days before the weekend comes along with another system. So let's look at the radar. There is still some precipitation in our region, of course. We do have some snow patches. Depending on where you are too, you're seeing, Sudbury is also seeing some patches of snow as well. But we are going to continue to see that as it moves eastward. We are going to see some, maybe between 5 to 10 centimeters tonight, depending on lake effect snow. And it's going to be blowing around, so it's going to be very difficult visibility depending on where you are if it gets bad with these snow squalls. So let's get into the details. We'll look at the camera, which, yes, there's not a whole lot to look at. It's white out there and cloudy, but yes, that's the way it's been most of the day. And through Monday, we did see that as well. Our camera is brought to you by wirelesscom.ca. Thank you very much for sponsoring that. We can see it nice and clear today. The snow hasn't covered it, so nice view there of downtown. Okay, so let's get into our expected highs for today. There we go. -3 in Thunder Bay, -6 in Wawa, -9 in Timmins, 0 here in Sault Ste. Marie. We are the warm spot. And then -4 and 5 in Elliott Lake and Sudbury. Overnight, we are looking at -14 in Thunder Bay. And yes, it's going to stay very chilly up in that region, between -13 and 12 in Wawa and Timmins. I was going to mix Thunder Bay in there somewhere. -7 here in Sault Ste. Marie, and then -13 as well in Elliott Lake and Sudbury. So very chilly night on the way. And so for our overnight here, we are going to see those flurries end overnight. Will become mainly cloudy. We will see a risk of a snow squall in the evening later on and after midnight with potential for another 5 centimeters. Winds will become northwest, becoming light by the late evening, and we will see a wind chill near -12 overnight. So very chilly. As we get into Wednesday, we're going to see a mix of sun and cloud. Winds will change to southeast. We'll see a bit of a warmer wind, 20 kilometers late in the afternoon. We're going to get up to 3 degrees. The wind chill, though, is going to be -10 in the morning, so make sure you bundle up. We're going to see clouds overnight on Wednesday with a low of 1. Thursday is the beauty out of the 3 days here. 11 degrees we're going to get up to with a mix of sun and cloud. And we're only going to get down to 5 as well. Partly cloudy overnight on Thursday. Not much to report on Friday either. 6 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. And clouds overnight on Friday with low of 1. So pretty calm there for those couple of days. But it returns on the weekend, highs of 3 and 2 on Saturday and Sunday. We do have a 60% chance of flurries and rain showers on the weekend, and that's going to run its course through the night as well before things clear out again for your work week with 4 degrees on Monday and Tuesday, mix of sun and clouds. So not looking too bad for the 7-day. And our overnight lows as well, they're not too bad, 5 degrees by Thursday night, and you're only going to get down to -1 on Monday, and we'll hover around freezing otherwise. So it's pretty reasonable for this time of year, considering our normal lows are around -4 to 5 range. Okay, here's our Weather Watcher photo, which is from Cliff, and this is from the Sault Ste. Marie area, and of course it's before we had the snowfall. That's autumn field. So thank you very much for sending that in, Cliff. And if you do have your weather photos, send them to ontvweather@gmail.com and include your name and location. They will go up on First Local, on the newscast, and of course on SiouxOnline.com on the website where you can see it, and our social medias as well. So make sure you do check that out and go to SiouxOnline.com where you check out all the stories that we present to you as well. And just a reminder, there is a contest going on to send in your Christmas photos, so make sure you do go to SiouxOnline.com and read the story on that. It's also pinned on our Facebook page. We'll be back in the morning with Colette and Chris. Mike is back with more news right after this break. Have a great night.
Nobody's here first.
That's a very interesting theory.
Do you agree?
Well, how can I? I'm not here yet.
I don't have any more time to argue. I've got to get back to work, and so do I.
A message from the Government of Canada.
The father of the man who killed 10 people in Toronto's van attack denied that he was tailoring his testimony to help his son, telling the prosecution that he was just trying to accurately describe Alec Manassian to the court. Vahe Manassian, who was called to testify by the defense, spent hours under intense questioning from the Crown at the trial that's being conducted over video conference. Alec Manassian has pleaded not guilty to 10 counts of first-degree murder and 16 counts of attempted murder. He's admitted to planning and carrying out the 2018 attack and argues he should be found not criminally responsible due to autism, which is a rare defense. The elder Manassian earlier painted his son as a man with little to no emotion due to autism spectrum disorder, and that he did not understand what he did was wrong. Manassian's lawyer said while his client may intellectually understand what he did was wrong, he cannot rationally comprehend what he did was wrong. Autism Canada, meantime, has denounced what it described as egregious claims made by the defense at trial. Kraft Heinz says the production of Heinz Ketchup is returning to Canada, with the company's Montreal factory set to begin making the iconic condiment next summer. The ketchup maker says a decision to move production back to Canada from the U.S. comes after a joint investment between Kraft Heinz Canada and the Quebec government's business expansion program. The $17 million investment includes a $2 million forgivable loan from the province. The project is expected to create 30 new jobs and help maintain about 750 existing positions at the company's flagship Mont Royal facility. The new ketchup line is expected to produce over 45 million kilograms of Heinz ketchup for Canadian consumers in the first 2 years alone as production ramps up. The company moved its ketchup production to the U.S. after selling its factory in Leamington, Ontario to Highbury Canco in 2015. Companies would have to obtain consent from customers through plain language, not a long legal document, before using their personal data. Newly introduced privacy measures become law. The Liberal government bill is designed to flesh out the 10 principles from control over data to meaningful penalties for misuse of information that make up the federal digital charter. The government says the legislation would give consumers the ability to more easily transfer their data from one business to another. The proposed Digital Charter Implementation Act would give the Federal Privacy Commissioner order-making powers, including the ability to demand that a company stop collecting data or using personal information. In addition, the Privacy Commissioner would be able to recommend that the planned Personal Information and Data Protection Tribunal impose a fine. Senator Murray Sinclair has teamed up with primatologist Jane Goodall to propose a law to protect captive animals and ban imports of elephant ivory and hunting trophies into Canada. Sinclair said his bill would ban new captivity of great apes and elephants unless it's licensed and for their best interests, including for conservation or scientific research that does not harm the animals. The proposed legislation would also forbid the use of great apes and elephants in performances and establish legal standing for the protected animals. That would allow courts to issue orders to move them to new care or to improve their living conditions. The proposed legislation would also ban the importation of elephant ivory and hunting trophies. The proposed legislation will be called the Jane Goodall Act, named for the primatologist best known for her 60-year study of social and family interactions among wild chimpanzees. Speaking in the news conference today, Goodall said it's tremendously important to recognize that these animals have feelings and personalities. I'm Mike McDonald. We have more news and weather coming up.